Hello, everybody. It's Monday, 4th of April. I hope everyone's doing well. As mentioned earlier, we are going to be working on mobility of the shoulders in the class, but of course, we'll start out with our breathing exercises, the work for the neck, and a little bit of mobility for the back. Then when we stand, we'll be working on the mobility of the shoulders. Just another reminder, please never go into any pain. The shoulders can be very sensitive. And if you have any issue right now, like a frozen shoulder, or if there is a capsulitis going on, please back off any of the exercises that don't feel right. So we'll start either seated. You can also be seated in a chair, or you can be standing. Open your shoulders nice and wide. Okay, I give the cueing more of opening the shoulders to the sides rather than drawing the shoulders back, okay, for a good posture. Why? Drawing the shoulders back can create tension. We don't want tension. We want to feel like our shoulders are getting wide out to the side, and that helps to release trapezius and neck as well. Let's take a deep breath in and lift your chin. Feel the stretch into the throat. And as you breathe out, lower your chin down to the chest, but keep the chest lifted. Breathing in, lift your chin, feel the stretch. And breathing out, let's lower. And we'll do that again. Breathing in, we lift, stretch and lengthen. Breathing out, lowering. Good. One more time in each direction. Let's breathe in, stretch and lengthen. And breathing out, lower. Bring your head back to neutral. We're going to just gently turn the head from right to left a few times. And then we'll move the head and the neck in different ways. Continue with a deep, slow breath as you move. These exercises you can do every morning upon waking. This would be a very good way to warm up your balance system, the system of balance. Okay, bring your head back to neutral. Now we'll lift the head diagonally up to the right. Lift your eyes as well and feel the stretch down the front of the neck. And then bring your chin down diagonally to the left, like you're looking over your left shoulder. We'll do that again. Look up to the right and down to the left. Be sure your shoulders stay relaxed and wide. Up to the right, down to the left. One more time, up to the right and down to the left. Bring your head back to neutral. Good. And we'll change sides. Up to the left and down to the right. Nice. You could breathe in as you look up and breathe out as you look down. Breathing in and out. Do it one more time. Keep the shoulders wide, looking up and down. Bring your head back to neutral and simply do some turns, some no movements with your head. Okay. Bring your head back to neutral. Bring your hands to your heart center and clasp your fingers together. Push your palms skyward. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out and lean to your right, opening up the rib cage. Breathing in, rise back up, lift the rib cage. And breathing out, lean to your left, opening up again. Breathing in, rise, out to the right. So this also works the oblique muscles. Breathing in, out to the left. Very good. Breathing in, one more time to the right. Breathing in, rise back up and to the left. Lengthening out your spine. Good. Come back to center. Bring the palms together and bring your thumbs into your upper back. Push your head gently against your arms and feel the opening. There's an opening of the triceps underneath the armpits, and there are some nice muscles underneath here, which are going to be opening up. They're auxiliary breathing muscles. Stretch your arms straight. Now clasp your hands behind you and push your arms as far away from you as possible. Lift the chin again and see if you can breathe into the chest. in this position. That's it. Very nice. Holding 3, 2, 1. Now release, and let's roll the shoulders. Nice circles with the shoulders. All right. Place your hands, one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Begin breathing in and feel as if your belly is expanding outwards, but gently outwards, and your chest will lift upwards. And then release. And again, breathe in, belly expands just a little bit, maybe it's a 0.5 centimeter, and the chest lifts. And breathing out. Now bring the breath only in the belly, no breath in the chest. So see if you can get the belly to expand just a bit. And then breathe out and see if you can avoid moving the hand that's on the chest. So breathe in. That's it, and breathe out. Good, one more time like that. This is just directing the breath, and we're using the diaphragm when we breathe in and out of the belly. Now, pull your belly in, hold it. You don't have to suck it in very hard, just hold it tight and take the breath in and out of the chest. Let your chest rise. That's it, and breathe out. This one's easier because we're used to it. Let's go, breathing in, breathing out. So what happens when you breathe with the chest, you feel that when you breathe in, your belly goes in. So let's go again, breathe in, breathe out. Excellent, one more time, breathing in through the chest. And out. Good. Now take both hands and bring them at the collarbones. So your fingers, your 4 fingers, will go at the collarbones. As you breathe in, see if you can move your collarbones and the muscles that are here at your neck. Let's go. Feel those muscles, feel the collarbones lifting, and breathe out. These are called the scalenes, these muscles, and they help with breath. Let's go again, breathing in. And breathe out. These are more difficult to use. Keep going. I just want to explain, there is no right or wrong way to breathe. There are different ways. Breathing with the diaphragm will relax you. Breathing with the chest will excite and motivate you. For example, you cannot breathe with the diaphragm while running. You can only breathe from the chest. And breathing up here helps to really heighten your awareness. In yoga, we believe that the awareness chakras at the top of the head, they're heightened when you breathe more at the collarbones and just underneath the scalene muscles. Because the lungs do go up until the shoulders, all the way up. One more time. Okay. Now, placing your hands at your ribs, here we're going to take full breaths using all of these muscles, okay? Meaning the diaphragm, the ribs, and up here the scalenes. So let's go. Breathe in, feel your ribs expand, feel your chest expand, feel the scalenes expand, and breathe out. Release everything. That's right. We'll do that 5 times. Breathing in. Good, breathing out. Keep going. At the base of your lungs, that's where you find the most alveoles. Those are the cells that take in the most oxygen. So of course, if you need oxygen, if you need to wake up and get yourself moving, breathing with the diaphragm is the best, and taking these full breaths, because you get the oxygen all the way down to the base of the lungs. Good, 2 more times. Nice deep breaths, full breaths. Be sure you don't push down onto the perineum. The perineum needs to stay strong. Here goes the last one. Well done, ladies. Very nice. So if you're seated, relax, roll your shoulders a few times, and roll over your ankles to come up on all 4s. If you are standing, let's move to the floor, come onto your hands and knees. So the knees will be underneath the shoulders. The knees will be underneath the hips. The hands will be underneath the shoulders. Let's take a deep breath in and curl our spines, look skyward. And then breathe out and round, look to your belly button. And again, let's breathe in and curl. Breathe out and round. And again, breathing in, curling. Breathing out, rounding. Here we're just warming up the spine. One more time, breathing in, let's curl and round. Come back to a flat back. Open your knees as wide as your mat and step your hands forward, just about a hand length forward. So now your hands are farther forward than your shoulders. Curl your spine to get into the bowstring position and begin bouncing back and forth. Begin to feel this starts to warm up the knees, the hips, the shoulders, and the wrists are being mobilized. Some nice easy bounces, and the more you bounce, you may feel a length through the belly. At the same time, you can pull the perineum up towards the belly button. Okay. Let your hips sink back. I want you to tuck your toes under now, and everyone come to a crouching cat pose. So let's bounce back and forth again. Here we continue warming the knees, the hips, the ankles, as well as the wrists and the shoulders. Keeping the hips back, turn your knees to the right and toes turn as well. And we'll bounce here. Hips going way back behind us. 3, 2, 1. Turn back to center. Now we'll turn to the left and bounce again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back, raise your right leg and let's do a nice circle, bringing the knee down and then out to the right and around. And again, down, out to the right and around. One more. Bring the foot back down. Everyone bring your knees down. Open the knees and sink back to a child's pose, turning the palms up to the sky. Rest for a moment. Bring the hands back down. Let's go back up to crouching cat. And the left leg lifts. Becomes much more challenging on the shoulders and arms. Bring the knee down to the shoulder, out to the left and around. 3 times. 2, there's the last one. Whew. Bring the foot back down. Now everyone open your feet as wide as the mat. Walk your hands back. Fingertips just touching the floor, hips pushing way back. And we're gonna bounce here in a deep squat. 10, 9, really heating the body up. Be sure the knees stay behind the level of the toes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift your hands onto your thighs, lift the chest, hips move back, and we'll turn the right shoulder forward. Look over your left shoulder. Good. Come back to center, left shoulder goes forward. Look over the right. Coming back to center, right shoulder forward. Look over the left. Good, back to center. Change. Back to center, one more time each side. Right shoulder to center and left shoulder. Lift up the chest, keep the hips moving back, keep the thighs and the knees slightly bent. I want you to raise your arms as high as possible, reaching to the sky, but keep the knees bent and sway from side to side, right to left. Feel the back firing. You need to hold on, lengthen the belly. One more time each side, sway. Beautiful, come back to center and we release, bringing the arms down. We can straighten the legs. Perfect. Now you can stay as you are. I'll be turning my back to the camera. Now we're going to work on the shoulder mobilization. So first, bring your arms up as if you're setting your arms onto counters on either side of you, okay? We'll squeeze our elbows behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then bring them forward. Squeeze, opening the chest, and bring them forward. We do this 5 times. Squeeze, bring them forward. That's it. 2 more. Here's the last one. Good. Now lifting your hands up. Keep the elbows bent. We know this one. This is cactus. We're going to reach to the sky and then pull down. Reach to the sky and then pull down. Be sure the shoulders stay wide. You don't need to push them in any direction. Just keep your shoulders widening to the sides. Once more. Good. Now we'll bring our elbows together in front of us. And then opening. Bring the elbows together. And opening. And again, together. And opening. 2 more times. Here's the last one. Keep your elbows together. Now turn your hands away from you as if you're going to climb, okay? And in this position, our elbows are shoulder width, palms facing away. So as if we're going to climb, we raise right arm, back down, left arm, back down. So just raise the arms as if you're climbing up a wall. And it's almost like a lizard climb. You slowly raise one arm and then pull down. Raise the other and pull down. Again, and pull down. One more time, just raise and pull down. Now lower your arms and roll your shoulders a few times. Good. We have 2 more mobilization exercises. Relax the arms and watch for the moment. The first one is bringing both hands behind the head. Go as far as possible. Right hand on top first, and then you stretch, turn, and right hand on top behind the low back. Okay, this is the one where if you have a capsulitis right now, it may be a little bit painful, so perhaps don't go as far. Just go as far as is possible for you. This time, then we'll do the left hand on top and behind, left hand on top. So let's do it all together. Right hand on top, behind the head, and left hand on top behind the low back. Then left hand on top, behind the head. Sorry, I made a mistake before. Left hand on top, behind the low back. Now we do right hand, behind the head, behind the low back, right hand. Now left hand, behind the head, behind the low back. One more time each side. Right hand and left hand. Good. Relax your arms, roll your shoulders. Here's the last exercise. Stretching your arms out to the sides. Start with the right hand. You'll touch the shoulder, the opposite shoulder behind your head, back to the shoulder, same hand. Stretch the arm out. We change hands. Shoulder, opposite shoulder, shoulder, and stretch it out. Again, shoulder, opposite, shoulder, and stretch. Shoulder, opposite, shoulder. One more time each side. Shoulder, opposite shoulder, and last one. Shoulder, opposite shoulder. Woo, good job. Bring your arms down, roll your shoulders, and just notice how your arms feel as well. Everything has been worked. Doing this regularly will keep mobility, and it also keeps a little bit of muscle fiber. Come to the front edge of your mat, everyone. Have your knees softly bent, hips behind you, chest lifting, and the belly is long. Hands to your heart center. And we're going to get moving now, ladies. So let's take a deep breath in and rise. We want to raise the heart rate now. Hands come in front of the heart, elbows come down to the knees, and then the hands to the floor. Step back to a plank position. From your plank, lower your knees, lower your chest down slowly with control. Pointing your toes, lengthen your legs. Let's rise to a little cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto the knees. Tucking your toes under. Let's take a down dog or a crouching cat. Lift your head, hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot forward first, then the left. You're all the way at the front edge of your mat. Knees bend, hands to thighs, lift the chest. Raise your arms by your ears if it's comfortable for the low back. And we hold here. 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing, arms straight. Hands to heart center. We move again. Deep breath in. Folding, elbows come to knees, and we step back to a plank position. Lower your knees down. Let's move down to the earth. Pointing your toes, everyone rise to a cobra and push back. Down dog or crouching cat. Hold this position. 3, 2, 1. Left foot comes forward. Then step it forward. Knees bend, hands to thighs. Come to chair. Holding here. 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing. Let's go a little bit faster. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Folding forward. Stepping back to plank. Move your knees down and move yourself all the way to the floor. Point your toes for cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Holding here. 3, 2, 1. Right foot forward first. To the chair. Arms by your ears. Holding 3, 2, 1. Up to standing. Hands to heart center. Keep going. Deep breath in. Rise. Folding forward. Go all the way down. Looking good. Plank position. Now move to the floor. Excellent. Point your toes, rise to a cobra, down dog or crouching cat. Doing great, everyone. Hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Step left foot forward, then the right. Come to the chair. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing, hands to heart center. 2 more rounds. Take a deep breath in. Rise up. All the way down, stepping back to a plank. Move down to the floor. Knees come down first. Yes. Point your toes into cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Looking good. Stepping forward. Right foot first. Yeah. And then up to chair. Hold the chair. Good job. All the way up to standing. Last round like this. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Let's go. Folding forward all the way down. Stepping back to the plank. Move yourself down. Excellent. Point your toes to a cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Good. Hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Stepping forward. Good. Knees bend into chair. Holding 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing. Here's the last round, ladies, like this. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Rise. Folding forward. Whoo. Stepping back. Plank position. Move yourself down to the floor. Point your toes and into cobra. Down dog or crouching cat. Good. Hold it there. 3, 2. Looking good, everybody. 1. Step with your left foot forward first. All the way to the front edge of the mat. Into chair. Good job. All the way up to standing. Bring your hands to your hips and step your right foot back to the center of your mat. So you don't want to go too far back. This is called a high lunge, but it's a lunge in a position that's going to be healthy for your hips and your knees. I want you to raise your arms out in front of you, clasping all the fingers together except the index and the thumb. And we're going to sink down as if we're going to sit on our back heel. The back heel stays lifted and we'll rise back up. We'll do that 5 times. So sink. 5, 4, 3. This really works the glutes as well as the legs. 2. Now stay down as low as possible and you'll turn your upper body to the left. You have your left leg forward, so turn towards the left, using your glutes, using your waist, using the obliques. Turn, 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 and we hold. 3, 2, 1. Unwind, hands to your heart center in a soft prayer. Raise your right foot and place it on top of the left thigh. Sink down like you're going to sit in a chair in this position. It's called infinity pose. Set your gaze at one point, focusing on that one point. Keeping your hands in the prayer, bring the thumbs to the crown of the head. Bring them up. Elbows lifting, shoulders lifting, chest lifting. Get long, long, long in the waist. And you hold here for another 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands back down. Bring your foot back down. And the hands come to the hips. Good job. Let's step our left leg back. Right foot stays forward. Left heel stays up off the floor. Raise your arms in front of you, clasping all the fingers except index and thumb. Here we go. We're sinking back to the back heel and coming back up. Let's go 5 times. 5, 4. Feel the glutes working as you do this. 3, there's going to be a stretch and a lift. 2, stay down. 1, twist to your right. Feel it in the waist. Keep the hips strong. Let the hips pull in towards each other. Turning, turning, turning as much as possible and hold. 3, 2, 1. Unwinding slowly. Hands to heart center. Raise the left foot up and place it on top of the right thigh. Both knees bend. Hips sink back. Bring the thumbs to the crown of the head. Elbows lift, chest lifts, waist gets really long. Focus on one point and hold. 3, 2, 1. Bravo. Bring your arms down. Bring the leg down. Good job. Step back to the center of your mat. Hands to your hips once again. We'll raise our right foot as if we're stepping on a stair just in front of us. Stretch your arms now by your sides, completely straight so it works the triceps. Hold here and bend your standing leg. So your hips will go back into a little squat and we hold this position. Set your gaze at one point. Keep breathing deeply. Now we'll send the right leg back into an airplane type position. The knees stay slightly bent. Raise your arms behind you to work the back shoulders. Stay strong in the position. Set your gaze at a point on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Up to standing. Bring the foot back down. Whew. Hands to your hips again. Bend your knees slightly. Lift your left foot in front of you like you're stepping on a stair. Sink your hips back, bending the standing leg. And again, stretch your arms by your sides, working those triceps. Lift and open the chest. Set your gaze at one point. Holding this. 3. Keep breathing. Lengthen the waist. 2. And 1. Let's move into that airplane type position. Leaning forward, but keeping the chest lifted. Standing knee is bent. Lift your arms up behind you even higher. One more deep breath in. Woo, and come all the way up to standing and release. Hands come back to your hips. Good job, ladies. Bend your right knee. Bring it out to the side at a 45-degree angle. Set the foot either at the ankle, a little bit higher than the kneecap, or the inner thigh. And we focus our eyes on one point as we raise our arms, we lift our chests, we lengthen the waist, and we breathe slowly and calmly. Hands come down to the hips. Good job. Bring the foot down and we'll change. Left knee bends, bring it out to the side. You're either at your ankle, a little bit higher than the kneecap, or the inner thigh. Raise the arms, lengthen your waist, raise your eyes. Deep breathing. Good job. Hands to your hips, and we lower the foot down. Beautiful. Step again to the front edge of your mat. Hands come to your heart center. Raise your arms and we'll stretch skyward. Get really long. Now bending at the knees, we'll fold, bringing the elbows down, and we'll step back to a plank position. Now we're going to hold the plank for a little while. Get yourself comfortable. If you want to come down on your elbows, you can do that. If you want to come down on your knees, you can also do that. If you want to take it farther, step your right foot out, then your left, step your right foot back in, then your left. We'll do the left foot first now. Left, right, left, right. Right foot again. Right, left, right, left, left foot this time. Staying strong. Keep the belly strong and long. Right foot. Bring it back in. Left foot, last time. Hold on to it, ladies. Woo! Bring your knees down. Bring your chest down slowly. And bring your hands underneath your forehead. Good job. Let your hips move from side to side. And we just relax and let go for the moment. All right, let's lift the head, chest, and shoulders. Keep your hands down. You want to push down into your elbows a bit to lift the chest. And we'll raise both legs. So the knees come up off the floor as much as possible. Point your toes. And we're going to do a little bit of what's called battement. You're going to bring your heels in to touch and then out to the sides. But we do it fast. So we go in, out. In, out, in, out. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Move your hips from side to side to relax. Nice. Nicely done, everyone. Okay. Lift your head, chest, and shoulders. Now, as we've worked already the shoulders and the mobility, we also work them in the warm-up and as well as in the plank position. We'll just do one little shoulder activity, which is the cobra. So bring your hands under your shoulders, elbows are lifted, lift your chin, push into the hands and rise to a cobra. Open the shoulders wide, open your chest long. Tighten up your legs and your glutes. Stay here and breathe. 5, 4. Focus your eyes on one point. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down slowly. Good. Move your hips from side to side to relax. Excellent. Last position for the back, we'll do the bow pose, but the modified bow. Bend your knees, reach behind you, set your fingertips on your heels, and push your heels into your hands. Lift your head. If you don't grab your feet, no big deal. Just do the same thing with the knees bent here. Set your gaze at one point and stay. One more deep breath in, and come on down. Hands under the shoulders, push up onto the knees. Bring your right hand off your mat, left hand on top, press the hips back. Same thing other side, left hand on top, left hand off the mat, right hand on top, press back. Coming back onto your mat, walk your knees forward, bring your feet to one side, and let's get onto our backs. So the first bridge pose will be for the hamstrings. Walk your feet away from you, heels into the floor, toes pointing up. Arms down by your sides, lift the hips up. Feel the contraction into the glutes and the backs of the legs especially. Pull your heels toward you a bit to increase that contraction. So you feel it's an isometric contraction, very strong. Hold another 3, 2, 1. Bring the hips down, frog bridge. Bring your feet in, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Push the feet to each other and lift your hips. Feel how it's a deep hip work, deep into the glutes and all around the articulation of the hips. Here we're going to pulse, lifting 10, 9, 8, 2, and 1. Bring the hips back down. Now separate your feet hip width. Here's we're going to add on a little bit of perineal work, okay? So we'll have our feet hip width, our knees hip width. You're going to raise your hips up, not to the highest point, just maybe 2/3 to the highest point for you. We'll bring our knees together to touch, and you'll squeeze the inner thighs as well as squeezing the perineum. Okay, so you feel like the doors are completely closing and lifting to the belly button. Then you bring your knees apart. Same thing. Breathe out as you bring your knees together, close and lift. Breathe in, knees apart. We do it again. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And again, breathe out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. 2 more times. Breathe out. Close and lift. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe out. Breathing in. Bring your hips back down. Relax for a moment. You should have really felt the lower abdomen working very strongly. Those are those perineal muscles that make like a basket around the lower abdomen. Keep your feet apart, keep your knees apart. Elbows go into the floor. Hands are open, but they stay soft. It's a soft sort of opening. Push down into your elbows, lift your chest, and lift your hips. Now we're in our yogic bridge. You can go as far as feels good. Lengthen your neck at the same time, and we hold. Raise your arms over your head, reaching behind you. Lower the back, 1 vertebra at a time. very, very, very slowly. Ah, good. Keep your arms behind you. Open your feet. Let your knees fall to the right. And reach your left arm even farther behind you. Get super long down your left-hand side. Deep, slow breathing. One knee at a time, raise them back up and let the knees fall to the left. Reach your right arm far, far behind you. Right hand side of the body getting super long and deep breaths. Good. One knee at a time, rising back up. Let's raise our right leg now. Grab behind the thigh. Keep curving your low back and make a circle with the foot. As you circle, see if you can open up all the toes as well. This helps to mobilize all of those bones and articulations in the feet. Change the direction, opening the toes, moving them around. Now let's flex the feet and straighten the leg as much as possible. If you want to pull the leg towards you, be sure you keep the space between your low back and the floor. So there should be the natural curve. And then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We'll raise both and we'll grab around the legs, pulling them in. Ideally, you keep that curve still. Keeping your legs crossed, bring your left foot on the floor. Let your knees go to your left, so the right leg stays on top and you get the stretch of that IT band going into the glute as well as a twist in the back. And we open our right arm out to the side for a deep stretch into the pectorals. Turn your head to the right as well. Good. Roll to your left-hand side, all the way over to the left-hand side. Left arm underneath the head. Grab your right ankle and push the right knee behind you for a stretch down the quadriceps. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder. Roll to your back. Bringing up both knees now, rock from side to side for a moment. And then let's bring the feet flat onto the floor again. Knees bent, space between your back, the low back and the floor. Raise your left leg, grab behind the thigh, and make that circle with the foot, opening the toes. See if you can mobilize all of those joints in your foot. 26 bones in your foot. All of them articulate with each other. Change the direction. Flex your foot now. Straighten your leg as much as possible and pull the leg towards you. Get that stretch down the back of the leg, keeping curve in your low back. And we breathe and hold. Good. Cross the leg over the other thigh, lift both. See if you can keep that curve in the low back as you pull the knees towards the chest and hold. All of these restorative postures, these stretches at the end, can be so important in releasing not only the muscles, but the central nervous system. So allow yourself just to relax into these postures. Keeping the legs crossed, bring your right foot down. Let your knees fall to the right. So the outer leg, the IT band, all the way to the knee, the hip, the low back, and now the shoulder and the pectoral muscles. Reaching your left arm out to the side. Look at your left hand. Turning all the way onto your right hand side, right arm underneath the head. Grab a hold of your left ankle and push the knee behind you. If you cannot grab the ankle, it's not a big deal. You just bend the leg and push it behind you. You need those stretches of the quadriceps and opening up the front of the hip. Very good. Bring your left knee to your left shoulder. Roll all the way onto your back to completely release here. Lift your feet up, knees bent, and you can either grab the inner ankles, the outsides of the legs behind the knees, or grab the bottoms of the feet. Happy baby pose. Now we can round our back a little bit and rock from side to side. Coming back to center, bring the knees nicely bent, grab around, lift your head, nose between the knees, and hold for a moment. And then gently bring your head back down to the floor. One leg at a time, stretch your legs onto the floor and turn your palms to the sky. Begin to breathe in and out of the belly. You can let the chest rise and fall with your breath as well. If you need to make any minute movements to get yourself fully comfortable, you can do that. And begin to imagine a relaxing energy. Sometimes I like to imagine a color. You could imagine bubbles or sparkles. You could imagine just a white light. A powerful energy, but one that relaxes as well as heals. So imagine this energy moving down from the crown of your head like a shower, showering over your hair, down your ears, the back, the front of the head, over the face, down to the jaw. Allow it to move down over your neck and the throat, over the shoulders, over the chest and upper back. And its strength and power relaxes and heals. Down the outsides of the arms, inside the arms, down into the chest, tummy, and back, all of the internal organs. down into the wrists, hands, fingers, into the hips, lower back, the lower abdomen, all of the internal organs there. Into the legs, down into the knees, the lower legs, into the ankles, feet, and all the way into the toes. Allow this energy to be like a continuous shower, right down over the head, all throughout your body and into the feet. Take a few more deep, slow breaths. And begin to move your fingers and your toes. Move your hands and your feet. Raising your arms over your head, stretch from fingers to toes. And then bring your knees to your chest. Gently rock if you wish from side to side. Nicely done, everyone. Right arm to the right ear, roll to your right hand side. Setting the hands down into the earth, push into the earth to lift from the side and come to a seated position. Beautiful. Let's rub our hands together. Bring the hands over the face. Gently tap around your eyes and shake out. And let's do that one more time. Hands at your heart center. Have a lovely afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining, and namaste. Well done.